Hey there guys, today I get a little bit of a random project that some of you may remember just by looking at it. This is my old rain roof project that I built maybe 4 or 5 years ago out of an old roofing prop, and it collected rainwater and sent it down to some IBC totes to a rainwater garden project that I have dabbled in maybe off and on for the past 10 or 11 years. Well, that rainwater garden project kind of went by the wayside after some javelina ate the roots of the fruit trees that I had there. So what I'm going to do today is move this rain roof, hopefully in one piece, down to my goat project so that I can use it, number one, as a rain roof, number two, to provide a little shade or extra shade in the goat yard, and number three, also to provide an area in which to store our hay. Right now we just have it covered with tarps, and I just figured this would be a nice 3-part structure. So anyway, I'm going to show you what my plan is, because I am planning on rolling this over with the assistance of my quad and an old cable spool, and fingers crossed it will go well, and then maybe in the next video I will put it up on stilts and kind of make it that 3-part structure. So here's a closer look at the rain roof, as well as the beginnings of my plan to hopefully move this roof in mostly one piece. One quick note though, if you're wondering why it looks a little bit odd, being that there are 4 separate sections along here, that is because this was originally 4 separate roofing props where I was testing some roofing for a company to see how it held up in the desert sun. And once that project was done, I simply combined them to make one full roof, and that is also why it kind of is at an odd height. Obviously it'd be better if it was higher to store stuff under, or like in my rainwater, my wildlife rainwater project, it should be directly on the ground just to minimize the materials. This size, definitely a little bit odd, but my plan to move this involves this cable spool right there. You can see I had to trench it to be able to get underneath the rain roof. And what I'm going to do now is remove all of these legs, and then I'm going to cut this one maybe about 12 inches off that. And that is basically just going to serve as an axle while I hopefully pull this with the quad over to the goat project. Alright, so I got all the legs removed except for the middle leg that is connected to the axle. And what I'm going to do now is kind of use some of that scrap wood to brace this up. I'm going to cut out maybe a little 2 or 3 inch section right there to where it starts resting on that cable spool. And hopefully this thing isn't going to fold in half. Well, as I somewhat expected, I got that saw blade jammed up when the weight of the roof rested down, so I'm just going to give a little relief here and see if I can pull it out. Alright, I'm going to try another one. And we'll try it again. Ooh. And this other side went a lot smoother, I think because I added a brace here and a brace there versus just one brace. And I think this is pretty much ready to start towing. Okay, so it's a moment of truth. It is all on the axle right now. I've got a little bit of a hole to pull it out of, but here goes. All right, so a quick little readjustment. I don't know if you noticed that strap was pretty loose, so I just got it nice and tight so that hopefully this will have a little more stable, secure ride. And I don't know if you can tell, it's got a little bit of a bow because there is quite a bit of flexibility in this. But anyway, the plan is to tow it from here down that little trail and then up my driveway all the way to my house, and then the goat area is down there. All right, guys, well, I think that's going to conclude the movement of this megalith. The cable spool actually worked out better than I was anticipating. Actually wasn't that hard to move it by hand. And the whole roof didn't crease in half as it was going up and over all those bumps and dips and things. So anyway, that's pretty much going to conclude this video. The next video, I am going to mount that roof to the fence line, probably with some spacers to put it up maybe 1.5 feet higher. And then I'm going to put some posts in the ground over here to where it'll be essentially just a big carport that I can store the hay in. And I don't know what side I'm going to slope it to, probably the goat side, and then that'll get that gutter reinstalled and eventually direct water to an IBC tote or something that will be a future project for the goats. And right now the chickens and the goats are pretty interested in it. So I think that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully it was interesting, and you know, perhaps it would have been better just to simply uninstall everything and rebuild it over here, but I don't know. I think sometimes these little projects are fun to try, and you know, perhaps it will give you an idea. If you guys like this, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button for similar content. And remember, you can watch my videos on Rumble and Odysee if you prefer to watch on different platforms. And that is pretty much going to do it. See ya.